talk about the anatomy of the ruminant stomach.
Here we have a sheep stomach, and today we are going to describe the structures which we can see on the left view and in the right view of the stomach. So in general, the ruminant stomach is divided into 4 chambers. This is the rumen, the first and the biggest one. This is the reticulum. In the right view, we can see the omasum and the abomasum, or the true stomach. So rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. Here we have the esophagus, which enters the stomach in the area between the rumen and reticulum, here in this area called also the cardia. The rumen fills almost the entire left half of the abdomen and extends from the diaphragm cranially to the pelvic inlet caudally. The rumen is subdivided into several portions by what's called the grooves from outside, which we can see them here. Here we have, for example, the longitudinal groove, the left longitudinal groove. And on the visceral surface of the rumen, we have the right longitudinal groove. Caudally here, we have the caudal groove. And here cranially, we have the cranial groove. All of these 4 grooves divide the rumen into 2 big sacs, the ventral and the dorsal sacs, in this way. So this is the dorsal sac and this is the ventral sac of the rumen. In the left view, here we can see the accessory groove. This one here is the accessory groove. This is the longitudinal groove. The accessory groove starts from the longitudinal groove and moves dorsally, as you can see. In this view also, we can see here this groove, ventral coronary groove, and this is the dorsal coronary groove. Of course, both are the left coronary grooves. The dorsal one here is not developed like that one in the bovine. So the ventral coronary groove from this side and the ventral coronary groove of the other side here, they forms like a blind sac, the caudoventral blind sac, as you can see here. So this is here the left ventral coronary groove, and this is the caudoventral blind sac. Here we have the left dorsal coronary groove, which is not developed, of course, and left and right coronary grooves here, they form also this small sac here, the caudodorsal blind sac. As we said before, it's not that developed in sheep, but it's very developed in bovine. For example, in bovine, the caudoventral and caudodorsal blind sac they have the same size in bovine. Let's look again at the visceral surface of the rumen. Here we can see the right longitudinal groove, and this one is the right accessory groove. As you can see here, the right accessory groove starts from the longitudinal groove and meet the longitudinal groove again. Let's look at the other one here. As we mentioned before, the accessory groove starts from the longitudinal groove but doesn't meet the longitudinal groove again. So in this view here, they meet each other and they form in the middle what's called the insula ruminans. This is here the longitudinal and the accessory here. They form together the insula ruminans here in the middle, or the ruminal island. This one here. So we can see this insular ruminants just in the right view or visceral surface of the rumen. And now let's move to the next portion, which is the reticulum, which leads just ventral to the esophageal gastric junction. And as you can see, even from outside, we can see this honeycomb pattern of the reticulum. Between the reticulum and the rumen, here the rumen, and this is the reticulum. Here we have big opening here, the ruminoreticular ostium in this area here. If we move to the right side here, we can see the omasum. It's bean shaped in small ruminants, this one here, and is relatively hard comparing to other portions of the stomach. And if you look from outside here, we can also see this like white lines. They are formed by the omasal lamina. So here the omasal lamina, we are talking about muscular lamina, so the food can stick between them. And the main function, of course, of this part of the stomach of the omasum is water absorption. Now let's move to the last part of the ruminant stomach, which is this one here, the abomasum, or we can name it as true stomach. It's a glandular stomach here. Next to the omasum, we have the abomasum, this one here. Something similar to mono-gastric stomach of other animals. It's similar to the true stomach of carnivores, for example, or equine, in the way that it has like a greater curvature, lesser curvature, and could be divided into fundus, body, and pylorus. To the greater curvature here, we can see the greater omentum. And here, from the lesser curvature toward the liver, we can see the lesser omentum. Or as we learned before, we can divide the lesser omentum into two ligaments, the hepatogastric and hepatoduodenal ligaments. If we look at the abomasum from outside, we can see these white lines. These white lines represents from inside the spiral folds or plica spiralis or abomasal folds. The function is to increase the internal surface of the abomasum, and after the abomasum here, we can see the first part of the small, after the pylorus, we can see the first part of the small intestine, which is the duodenum.